I think they're vain, stupid, and incredibly self-centered.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I have stories for you, and you get to choose which one you think is better for you to start with.
Like choose your own adventure?
You choose your own adventure, but you get to choose the stories that I have. I think all of these are interesting to you, so I don't know which one you like more.
Okay.
All right. I have a deeper dive into, I think Elmo is losing his mind.
Elmo, love you.
Oh, so we talked about that yesterday, about Elmo going after Rocco on Sesame Street.
Fuck Elmo.
Yeah, but there are times I found in the past where we can map Elmo is losing his mind. So we can look through time and say he's getting unhinged.
Tell Elmo a story.
So we should be worried about Elmo. So that's story one.
Story number one. Okay, I'll put a pin in that. What's your second one?
Okay, Cat Fitness Tracker showcased at Consumer Electronics Show. So there's a lot of consumer electronic things going on right now because it's the Consumer Electronics Show going on this weekend. So I'll tell you the big hits.
CES, yeah.
So CES is happening this week, this weekend, and I'll tell you what is the hot new thing that's coming.
Oh, I want that too.
Okay, that's another one.
What's your third?
Okay, a government agency has now came out to say if birds are real or fake. That's another one.
No.
And a woman who is 50 years old shares an anti-aging tape secret that keeps her looking half her age.
You mean tape, like she tapes her face up?
Like Scotch tape. She has a Scotch tape secret that keeps her looking 25 at 50. See, all these stories are great.
Well, no, the bird one. Fuck that. I'm not going down this. No, I'm not going down this rabbit hole with you where you keep insisting that birds aren't real.
But
especially after the guy vomited.
A government agency had to come out and actually say if birds are real or not, and I have what they say. So
that it's real, that they're real. I have a spoiler alert, they're real.
You don't know that. The FBI could have, or NASA could have come out to say, yes, you've been right the whole time. So that's story one. Elmo is a serial killer. That's another one. CES is going on right now. What's the hot new thing you're going to want? Or how you can be 50 and look 25 with Scotch tape.
What? I can only pick one. Why can't we do all of them except for the bird?
See, all these are great stories. So I saw the 50-year-old woman with the Scotch tape, and you go, I got Scotch tape. I can look 25, and she's going to tell you.
Fine, what's that? This is going to disappoint me. It's just she tapes up her face like where you would do a facelift. But go ahead, tell me what she does.
Yeah, that's what she does, but it's a hack.
I'm about to share with you the number one beauty trick I have learned in my 30 years in the industry. Are you ready?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to work with a legend. His name is Dr. Brandt. And if you don't know who he is, look him up. May he rest
Nobody knows who he is, lady.
A king and a pioneer.
He's a
in the
king.
Yo, hang on a second. Stop for a second. I hate people like this. I hate people who somebody is famous in their little tiny industry and they look at you like, you don't know who Dr. Hoopalong is?
Oh, you do that. You do that too when you meet people like in the doctor. It's like you shouldn't. She's saying you should know this person, and I'm surprised you're not.
No.
Look this guy up.
I think I have a good gauge of people that have made it from their little tiny microcosm of an industry into pop culture. And if I say a name that's in pop culture, it's because you should know it, because it's a big name. They have a television show on E, or they're featured all the time on Good Morning America. They're people that are in
show on E
our
does not
world.
make you a celebrity, by the way.
Well, okay, not you. No, but I'm just saying, like, no, there's all those doctors. Like, I don't even expect you to know those people, but I do know. I expect you to know Dr. Oz. Do you know Dr. Oz?
Right.
Okay, well, Dr. Oz he was a cardiologist in his small little microcosm of a world.
Do you not want to know how to look 25? Is that it?
I'm just telling you, I'm sick of people. I don't think I trust her is what I'm saying. Because if she's going to be like, you don't know who Dr. Blah is? It's like, no, bitch, I'm not in your industry.
Okay, but she's 50 years old and she looks like she's 20. So,
do you know who Scott Muni is? I mean, I'll give you some radio names. You tell me if you know who they are.
Nobody knows who Scott Muni is. But she looks.
But in radio they do. No, but in radio they do. That's my point. It's
Right.
really just people in our industry. So she shouldn't know who Scott Muni is, just the way I shouldn't know who her stupid doctor is.
You're just mad because she looks good.
All right. I can't see her. For all I know, she looks 80.
FDA
I'm telling you, she looks 25.
approved Botox. So if you're using Botox, it's because he got it approved for cosmetic use. Botox
See, he got Botox approved for cosmetic use. So he's kind of. Scott Muni didn't.
originally started as an injection.
I don't care who got it approved.
Scott Muni did nothing for your looks.
Twitches. It relaxes the twitch and it goes
Hang
away.
on a minute. Excuse me a second. Okay. You do not get credit for discovering something. You get credit for playing the hits. Again, a radio analogy. You know, we had people early on. We interviewed Ed Sheeran when he was nobody. Nobody cares about that. You play the hits. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get credit for being the first person to play Ed Sheeran. You get credit for being the 5,000th person to play Ed Sheeran.
This goes to prove you can fight about anything. Were you like the number one drama class person in high school? Because you could fight any subject.
I didn't go to drama class. Those nerds. I wasn't going to hang out with those bitches.
You would have destroyed it. Stop making fetch try to happen.
Took that and implemented it
debate
for
class,
use,
moron.
What we all use it for today. So here's what he taught me when I worked for him.
Okay, so she worked for him.
Uh-huh.
So she's going to teach you what he taught her, and he didn't charge her, and she looks great.
You've been listening to me talk for what, 30 seconds, 40
Yes.
seconds so far? Have I moved
Too
my
long.
forehead once? You're assuming it's because I've got a face full of Botox.
Yes.
Guess what? No Botox. And this is why.
Yeah, you're full of shit, too.
Dr. Brandt used to make us wear tape on our forehead, like pieces of tape. Because it teaches you how often you're flexing and using that muscle, because you'd hear the tape crinkle.
Oh my God, she's an it. This is so stupid. I wish I would have chosen Elmo.
Oh boy!
So I would walk around his office. I would walk around my home
With tape on
with
your forehead.
tape on. And every
Did it
time
say,
it would
"Kick me"?
crinkle, I would stop making that motion. Eventually, with a little bit of training, I learned
She
how
should
to
have
make
put some
eye
tape on her
expressions
mouth.
without utilizing
You should put it
these
down a little bit
upper
farther.
muscles. So I can still be animated.
I'm telling you, she looks fantastic for 50.
I can still do these motions, but you don't see any lines or creases on my upper forehead. And here I am, almost 50, with nothing. Train now, start now. If you're in your 20s,
No, but you
now's the
can't
time.
unring that bell. I mean, I have wrinkles on my forehead. I can't unwrinkle it without Botox. So where was she 30 years ago, 20 years ago?
It's not too late. Slap on that tape and get
She said
Too
it's
late.
not too late. Go get some tape right now and stick it on your forehead.
brow training.
I'm not walking around with tape on my forehead looking like a moron.
It's
No.
brow training. Where are you going to go anyway? You're not doing anything. Just stick. Here's what you do. Okay, this weekend, put tape on your forehead and don't tell Joe what it's for. And just see how long it takes Joe to notice it.
He'll never notice it.
He'll never notice it. So you could say
He doesn't notice stuff.
The whole weekend I had tape on my forehead and you didn't even notice. I want to see how long it takes him.
Okay, well, first of all, I wear bangs, so he couldn't see tape on my under my fringe anyway, first of all.
Exactly.
Second of all, I would rather have a face full of Botox. She worked for the guy who brought Botox here, yet she's sort of anti-Botox. Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's a
no,
good
thank
point.
you. I got no problem with Botox, honey.
That's a good point. So he invented the Botox, but he didn't put the Botox in her head. He told her to put tape on her head.
Here's my tip for you. Here's why I look so good for my age, okay? Resting bitch face. That's it. I just don't move my face because I'm nonplussed by everything. I'm angry at the world. I just keep my face in the same place every single time. Don't smoke, don't go in the sun, and resting bitch face. Those are my 3 hot tips for you.
Eat 3 foods. You only really eat 3 foods.
It's true.
So stay away from the bad foods. And you don't drink soda.
No, I don't drink soda.
You don't. The only thing you drink that's bad is probably coffee, and coffee is probably preserving you.
Fine,
but you're a ball of worry all the time. So I don't know how that works out in your favor.
But I look great
because you have bangs and you wear a mask when you go out and sunglasses. So you can only see a 1-inch space on the side of your head. That's really the only thing you can see. So that little 1-inch space, yeah, that probably looks pretty good.
That 1-inch face is gorgeous.
But I mean, you did walk down the street the other day with a mask on, sunglasses, hair pulled back, and a hat, and a guy called you ugly.
A guy did call me ugly.
Yeah, go buy some tape.
I had my...
I think you're making the fight for the tape other than not the tape.
Okay.
Because you haven't had Botox in a while, so maybe tape is the best way to go.
Okay, here's the sad thing. I had Botox like a month ago.
Yeah, but see, it's been so long since you had it, your body just sucks it up like a plant that hasn't been watered in years. You know, you can water the plant will continue to live, but it's going to suck that water up so quick because it hasn't had it in a long time.
We're almost completely sold out of crazy, and once it's gone, there's more.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I don't want you to get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, okay? Just promise me you're not going to be mad. That's all. First, before I go into the story I'm going to do, I just want you to right up front promise that you're not going to be mad at me.
Okay. I won't be mad at you.
Okay. Because I have to talk about Kanye.
Why?
I know. Because there's
He's
something
out of
that's
my life
trending.
now.
Listen.
He divorced a Kardashian. He's completely out of my life. He has made an album in years, and he's totally irrelevant right now. Why do you have to talk about him?
He's actually not irrelevant. He's going to be headlining Coachella. Ding, ding, ding.
Coachella's not going to happen, by the way. I letting you know now. It's not going to happen.
It's outdoors. It'll happen.
It's not going to happen.
He's doing his line of clothing for The Gap, where he said he's going to be channeling Balenciaga. So it's going to be lit. Like, I'm always like, I'm not buying celebrity clothes. It's going to be hard for me not to walk into a Gap and buy what Kanye's selling. Okay.
I did look at one of his hoodies. I
see.
Because Michael Che was on Saturday Night Live with a hoodie that was a Yeezy hoodie, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I told you. So Kanye's actually very relevant. And the reason I'm bringing him up is because Twitter blew up over this story. And let me tell you what the story is, and then I want your opinion, and I'll tell you what Twitter was upset about, okay? So Kanye is, I guess, allegedly, I should say, dating this actress named Julia Fox. She was the lead lady in Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler thing for Netflix.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who she is.
Yeah, Julia Fox. So she went on 2 dates with Kanye West, and she wrote about it. Now, if she wasn't an actress and she wasn't famous and she wasn't dating Kanye, she would never have written this piece because it's terribly written. This is written like your diary entry or like you're texting a friend about a date. It's not literary. It's not journalistic. Just her like throwing up onto a keyboard.
No, she read it into her notes, into her phone, and then hit send.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to read it to you because I want you to hear this story, and then I will tell you why everybody's upset, okay? I met Yi in Miami on New Year's Eve, and it was an instant connection. His energy is so fun to be around. He had me and my friends laughing, dancing, and smiling all night. We decided to keep the energy going and fly back to New York to see Slave Play, which, if you don't know, it's a Broadway play that had 12 Tony nominations. It's a huge play here. After the play, we chose to go to dinner Carbone, which is one of my favorite restaurants. Obviously, I don't know why that's obvious. At the restaurant, that's what I mean. It's like between her and her friends. At the restaurant, Yi directed an entire photo shoot for me while people dined. The whole restaurant loved it and cheered us on while it was happening. After dinner, Yi had a surprise for me. Yi had an entire hotel suite full of clothes. It was every girl's dream come true. I felt like Cinderella. I don't know how he did it or how he got all of it in there in time, but I was so surprised. Like, who does things like this on a second date or any date? Everything with us has been so organic. I don't know where things are headed, but if this is any indication of the future, I'm loving the ride. And then she posted a bunch of photos, then him trying on clothes for her, like putting clothes on her. Then there was like a photo of them like laying on the floor where she's like laying on top of him, like humping him on the floor. It was just, super awkward. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the two sides what's going on Twitter. A lot of people are like, the instant connection thing they have an issue with because they're like, you had an instant connection with Kanye West on New Year's Eve. Like, people are not buying it because they think that she's a social climber. Other people are saying that none of this is true, that it's all a ploy, that she agreed to do this with Kanye to make Kim jealous because this is the kind of stuff he used to do for her. He would whisk her away and he would, when she went to Paris, he sent along a bunch of clothing for her to wear. She had an outfit every single night that he had sent for her. He always dressed her. That was the whole thing about their relationship, that he was the style icon and he made her a style icon. So a lot of people are saying that this whole thing is engineered to make Kim Kardashian jealous and maybe she'll go back to him. I
think she's a gold digger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take too much to touch her.
Because she was in the movie
she got
again?
A baby by Busta.
What was the movie she was in?
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, she there's no way she made any money from that movie.
Right.
So she looks good as hell. And she found Yi. And he said, okay, I'm going to buy you a bunch of stuff. And she's like, he's amazing. He buys me things.
Right. And that's, if you read into what she's saying, he flew me here. She's not saying we had an instant connection and we have a lot in common, or he and I have a similar childhood, or we have the same relationship with our parents. No, it's none of that. It's all what he did for her, what he bought her. You're making a very good point.
Yeah. He flew her to New York. They went to a play. They went to her favorite restaurant. He filled a hotel room with clothes. If a guy's going to do that, you're not going to write about it. You're just going to be like, wow, this is great. She's writing about everything she got. So she's putting it out there. And he's doing it, like you said, just to make Kim happy and get a little on the side.
Right. And the thing is, it's terribly written because there's a lot of words that were like written in all caps. There's a lot of exclamation points.
Some emojis.
There's some emojis. Exactly. Like I read it properly to you, but like there were commas and periods everywhere.
Right.
And it's a fucking mess. The whole thing's a fucking mess. So when Tony Danza was first starting out in television, I know this because we have interviewed enough people that have worked with him. We interviewed Tony Danza himself. When I was producing Joan Rivers, she was really good friends with Tony Danza, and he would come on the show all the time. So I've heard this story many, many times. When he first started out in television, he was dumb. And he was so dumb and so not an actor that when he was doing a scene, and let's say the character's name was Michael, and people would talk and they would say, "What do you think, Michael?" He would just sit there because he didn't realize they were talking to him. Mm-hmm. So they changed a lot of the characters' names to Tony. That's why in Taxi and a lot of the early stuff he did, his name was Tony. Because that way when people say Tony, they know that he's talking to them. Okay? That he's talking to him, that the people are talking to him. I noticed that Julia Fox, almost everything she's been in, her name is Julia.
Because they can't learn a new name.
The name in Uncut Gems is Julia.
Right.
She's working on something right now, Julia. And I was like, oh, is she one of those people who's either not really an actor or is not the brightest bulb in the chandelier? That when people go, "What do you think, Catherine?" She just sits there. Mm-hmm. Julia, that's your line. You know what I mean? Let's change the name to Julia so she knows we're talking to her.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm just saying.
I've never understood TV shows and movies. Just go ahead and use their real name anyway. It's not like the name. Tony Soprano could have been James Gandolfini. It could have been fine.
That's true.
It could have been called the Gandolfinis. You could have called it. Could have been James Soprano. And then you just say, why did it have to be a different name? It doesn't have to. It has nothing to do with the story, unless they're Romeo and Juliet. Then you can change their name. But if it's a fake story, you can call them anything you want.
Right. I mean, if they're playing historic characters, like in The Crown, you have to call them Elizabeth and Philip because those are the characters they're playing. But if you're doing like some random story about like a lady and a guy, and their names are whatever,
right?
Tom and Julie, it doesn't really matter. Just change the name. Whatever actor you hire, that's the name now.
Like Michael from The Sopranos, he went by Christopher. I guarantee nobody calls him Michael on the street. They say, hey, Christopher. So just call him Michael the whole time. That's what I would want if I was an actor anyway, because you're building my brand. So I want people to know my name, not a fake name you just made up.
That's a very good point, because Jennifer Aniston, when she was on Friends, it took her a long time. Like the first couple of seasons, people would see her on the street and just yell, Rachel!
Right.
And she was Rachel. But she was able to, so that really shows how big a star you become. When you rise above your main character that you always play, who you're known for, and people actually know your name.
I know, but she could have been Jennifer in everything. She could have been Jennifer in Friends. She could have been Jennifer in... all
Horrible Bosses. Yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah, just all the time. Hey, there's Jennifer. I know who that is. And you wouldn't have to take 10 extra years to build your brand because it's already built in.
From an acting standpoint, I think the way actors feel about it is they're not their characters. So they want to be able to create a character, and they can't do that if they're using the same name. Like, I think the opposite is true. I don't. If I was playing a character and the character's name was Cooper, I'd be like, no, the character's name cannot be Cooper. Like, I need to, not that I'm an actor, but I'm just saying, I would think an actor would want to throw themselves into a character and give the character qualities that they don't possess. And it's easier to do that if the name is something other than your name.
Yeah, Michael Hall is never going to be Michael Hall. He's Dexter. You see him on the street, you're like, Dexter, come here.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So you should just change your freaking name to Dexter. Make it easier. If you played that part for more than a season, change your name to that.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. If you become known as a character, just change your name to that character.
Yeah, he's always Dexter.
Make it easy on us.
Yeah, I don't make me not want to think.
I think the next time we have somebody like him on the show, that's a question we should ask. Like, if they're known for a certain character, we should say, why don't you just change your name to that character? Why do we have to call you Chris? Like, why?
Can we, from now on, call you Chris?
This is a mockery. This is a sham.
They simply enjoy sniffing each other's butts.
They suck.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
The Consumer Electronics Show is going on this weekend. That's where all the people get together and they say, here's our new fun stuff for 2022. Get excited about it.
Okay.
So there's a cat fitness tracker. There's a cat fitness tracker that is being showcased this year. And have you ever seen a cat? They don't do fitness. So it's just an expensive way of looking at the number 0 a lot of times during the day. All my cats do are sleep. What, a cat fitness tracker?
Right.
Are you...
The real innovation would be if you came up with something that nobody had thought of that we can all use.
You can look at your cat and figure that out. If your cat is 45 pounds, 45-pound cat, then the cat really doesn't, do a lot. So the big thing...
The cat just took 4 steps. That's it, 4.
Yeah, look, it went from 2 to 4, and now it's back asleep. So the other big thing this year, Samsung is coming out with their OLED TV. So I guess the OLED is the really crazy clear screen, but now they're putting it on TVs. So it's supposed to be like, whoa, that kind of TV. Also, Sony is teasing the PlayStation VR 2. So you're going to have the goggles for the Sony. That's the new thing.
Yeah, that VR stuff makes me nauseous. I tried it. It's too. I get too claustrophobic. I can't do it.
I'm afraid to try it because the minute I try it, I'm going to want it, and I'm going to want it all the time. Because there's like Star Wars ones. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's Star Wars ones with lightsabers and things. I think I really could get hooked on it, but I haven't seen something. I have never tried one on, so I don't know what is up with that. Human facial robots are the new thing, too. So robots that look like a human.
What is that exactly?
It's like, what's that Will Smith movie that was?
iRobot?
It looks like an iRobot.
Okay.
So they're going to be making these iRobot things. If you watch that movie, it didn't turn out well. So I don't think it's a good thing.
No, and didn't we learn last year that robots can reproduce? Remember, they put those two robots together, and all of a sudden the DNA, they started reproducing, like, on their own? Yeah, I don't think that's... You don't want to go down the robot route right now.
And phones with 5G, and I don't know when 5G is going to blow me away. It still hasn't blown me away, so maybe a new phone with 5G will blow me away now. I don't know. And smart glasses are going to have the iPod moment in 2022. So that's going to be the new thing. They look like sunglasses, but it's actually like looking at a 140-inch TV through your glasses.
Okay, so it's basically like VR as well. It's like going to be like a VR computer.
But they look like the sunglasses Tom Cruise wore in Risky Business.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's going to go the way of the iPod, where it was like, wow, that's really cool, and it's over.
Yeah. So they're $900 for these glasses, but they say they're the future. And I'm just waiting for Apple to come out with a white pair. You know, Apple's going to have a white pair.
Of course.
And they're going to be great. And I don't know. I'm waiting for people to drive around with these things on their head, watching the new Britney Spears video while driving.
Right. It's going to be one of these kinds of things where, like, microwaves when they first came out were like $7,000. Now you can get one for like $9.99. So it's going to be that way too. Like, I never, unless it's something I must have, I don't really have to have those glasses. Maybe once they come out and they're $20, maybe.
Maybe if we traveled and we're on a plane all the time. But now I got to charge my AirPods, my phone, my sunglasses. I got to charge my watch.
Right.
Everything is going to have to be, I'm going to have to charge my car. I mean.
Right.
I'm never going to be able to do
charge
anything.
your sunglasses.
I mean, I just got to the point now where I can charge my watch every night. You know, I'm getting to that point. But now I got to figure out where the hell am I going to put my glasses when I charge those?
Oh, you're so right. I mean, Joe and I talk about this all the time. Like, he has like 4 cords over on his side of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 cords on my side of the bed. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, every night, everything has to be charged. You know, our iPad, our computer, you're right, our phone, our watches. It's too much.
Yeah. And if the power goes out, we're screwed because we ain't got no watch. We got no headphones. We got no phone. We got no computer. We got no glasses. We can't see. So, and the big thing this year are going to be EVs. It's going to be a tsunami of these new cars coming that are all electric. Like Chevy's got some starting at $30,000. So it's going to be a huge step in 2022 with electric cars.
Yeah, there's a commercial running right now I thought was really interesting. It was this girl who her father gives her a gas card as a gift. And she's like, I don't really need this. He's like, yeah, you'll need it. She's like, all right, fine. So she throws it into her, do you say glove box?
Glove compartment.
What do you call it? Glove compartment? Is that what you call it? Okay, everybody has a different name for it. So she throws it in there, and her husband, boyfriend, partner, whatever, is like, do we need the gas card? She's like, nope. And then you see them in new outfits. And he's like, what about now? She's like, nope. And every time, they never need the gas. They never need a gas card. So it's the father's birthday, and she gives him back the gas card. And he's like, oh my God, a gas card is exactly what I need. And the husband goes, wait, isn't that? She goes, shh, yes, no, he needs it. Like, shut up. I guess I regifted it. Shut up. But you see her plugging in her car every night, and that's the whole thing, that she doesn't really need a lot of gas. And I can tell you, as somebody who borrowed my mother's SUV and went and got gas here in New York City, I spent $60 on filling up that tank of gas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not cheap. Honda came out with a Honda E, and it's like this little Honda car, but it's all electric, and it's the coolest looking thing you've ever seen. It has no mirrors on the side of the car, just cameras, these little cameras, and the whole dashboard looks like a fish tank. It's freaking amazing. They're not shipping it to the U.S.
Why?
Because they suck. I want it here. Why? I want to give you my money and buy it right now. But they're not selling it here.
Yeah, it must be against some auto regulation we have here. There must be something. But that's what a Tesla looks like inside. You ever been inside of a Tesla?
Yeah, I have, but you can't buy a Tesla because they're so flippin' expensive, and you can't find one. I mean, they're $60,000 for a used one. And one of the first Teslas.
Yeah, I'm not looking to buy a Tesla, but I've been in one before, and it looks like a cockpit of exactly what you're describing, like an airplane. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome, but. One of the first Teslas today, they've been driving the crap out of this car, and it's almost hitting 1 million miles, and it's still going. So they have yet to figure out how long you can drive an EV before it just totally breaks down, because there's really no moving parts.
This is a stupid show. It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
You know, it's kind of our job to stay on top of what's going on in the world, not just pop culture, but just, things that are happening. And you start to see things pop up and you're like, what's that? Well, it's our job to explain to you what that is. For example, you might have noticed that a lot of your friends have been tweeting or posting on Instagram about Wordle. Have you seen the Wordle?
What is that?
It's a daily game is the best way to describe it. It's almost like the New York Times has a crossword puzzle, and every day it's a brand new crossword puzzle, and everybody gets the same one. So if you subscribe to the New York Times and you do the crossword puzzle, you're doing the same one that I'm doing in New York if you're in Chicago. It doesn't matter where you are. That's the daily puzzle.
Okay.
So Wordle is kind of like that, except it's quicker and shorter and doesn't last very long, especially if you're good at it.
It's kind of like sex with me.
It's pretty quick.
It's over fast.
And, yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that bad.
And you don't really enjoy it. Yeah. So you're greeted by a 5 wide by 6 long grid of empty white boxes. Okay. Each box can hold 1 letter. You have to guess the answer by typing in a 5-letter word, then you press enter. So like I started mine today and I put in the word worry, WORRY, and I hit enter, and none of those letters were in.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, I put in, I don't know, like slots or something, and the S and the L were correct. So if it turns green, that letter is in the daily word and you've placed it in the right spot. If it turns yellow, the letter's in the word, but you have it in the wrong position. If it turns gray, it means the letter is not in the word at all.
How many chances do you get?
6.
Oh, okay.
You get 6 chances. By chance 4, I guessed today's word.
Which was what?
Oh, I don't remember. I think today's word was
sloth.
Maybe it was
sleuth, slithering.
Maybe it might have been sloth. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But see that, and that's the worst thing about it. Like I did it, I got the word quickly, and then I forgot about it immediately. So it's not very engaging. But the thing with it is that you can immediately then share that information, and people are doing that. They're sharing like how quickly it took them to get today's word. So you put it up on Twitter, and other people are like, oh, you got it in 3 tries. That's awesome. So they're trying to make like a community out of Wordle. And I don't know. I've been doing it. I just haven't really bought into it yet. People are like, I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm like, nah, I can wait till tomorrow.
So every day the new word comes out. And so if you guess it
yes,
really quick, then you're done for the day and you have tomorrow to look forward to.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And what sucks is if somebody else can tell you the word, and then your day's over.
Oh, so you got to stay off social media until you figure it out.
Or someone can give you, somebody that hates you can give you a spoiler. Like they can call you and be like, "Hi, how are you? Today's Wordle is," yeah, right. And then you're screwed.
Okay.
I know. Okay, so Wordle is something that you will be seeing out there. Everybody is starting to do it. You're seeing it on social media already. So in case you're wondering what it is, it's a daily puzzle that people are into. I think I haven't gotten into it yet. The other thing that you may or may not have heard about is the Twee aesthetic. Twee, Twee.
Okay.
Okay, so the Twee aesthetic has been all over TikTok. It's been huge on TikTok. The Atlantic had an article on it. Mashable had like 3 articles on it today. Someone's already written a book on the Twee aesthetic and Twee culture. Now, when I was first understanding what Twee was, it kind of reminded me of steampunk, because the whole look to me felt very steampunk, where like guys with those handlebar mustaches with all the wax in them, and women that are dressed very feminine, but like almost French meets old American. So like a tennis skirt, but like some really wacky tights with bows on them, very feminine and lacy. And a lot of people are going on TikTok and they're talking about like how to look Twee. There's one girl that I was following where she's plus size. She's like, are you plus size and you want to look Twee? It's not just for skinny people. Here's plus size Twee. And she was showing us with like a little skirt and her bag and her little sweater. It's like, it's more than just a look. It's actually, it's more than just a look. It's like, remember when grunge was a thing in the 90s?
It was a
the whole
state
grunge
of mind.
culture. That's what Twee is. So there's music that's Twee. It's all about being very positive and supportive. It's the opposite of hipster, because hipsters are it's kind of a hipster look, but it's more positive and supportive. Like Twee is very anti-bully. Like there's a famous story about this girl, this 20-year-old girl. There was a guy being beaten up by 2 bros in Boston. And this 20-year-old girl stepped in the middle and stopped them from basically killing the guy. She was Twee. That was a Twee thing to do, where she stepped in and did something positive and stopped 2 bullies. And the Twee aesthetic people made a very big deal of that story.
All right, so this is Twee music. So you said Twee music. I said I got to look this up. I got to figure out if I like this music or not. So this...
You're not going to like it. Yeah, I knew you weren't going to like it.
When I had a million arms, I would wrap them around all your body parts. Try to keep away all that could do you harm. Try to keep out sickness and keep...
So, I know, yeah. So there's a dude who writes about this for Mashable, and he had gone to see some Twee music, exactly that, and he was like, this is awful, and he just went home and he just like wrote a scathing piece about what crap it was and how shocked he was that the whole audience was just really into it and positive and supportive. The whole concept of the Twee aesthetic is to support people in what they do, not to judge. So if you want to make that music, I'm here for you.
No, I don't mind if you like the music or you make the music. I'm saying if I like the music or not, and it's not something...
High school made me cry.
I'm not downloading this for myself.
Right.
This is the move. This is the music they put in movies I hate.
This is the diagnosis.
I feel like this is more feminine music. There are male Twee artists as well. I don't
Can't
think you'll
find
like
a
them
one.
either, but I'm just saying.
I can't find a one. Here, this might be. This is Free Cake for Every Creature. That's the name of the band.
Ooh.
You just like it because it's cake.
Which is a very well, that's true, but it's a very even the title is Twee.
Free Cake for Every Creature. Coming at you.
Yeah, very positive.
Number 1 on the Twee chart.
And the third thing is very interesting, because I was really on this early, and it wasn't because I was trying to be trendy. It was because I had IBS and celiacs. Apparently the low FODMAP diet, or FODMAP really is how you pronounce it, but it sounds such a weird word. The low FODMAP diet is blowing up on TikTok. And now Monash University, who came up with the low FODMAP diet, their logo is now on regular products that you can buy in the, like you can walk into the store, your cornflakes has a Monash University logo on it, Quaker Oats products, there's all these different granolas. You're going to be seeing a little blue square logo with a weird squiggly, and if you look closely, the squiggly is actually a GI tract. It's your intestines. It's like little intestines. It's cute.
My intestines made it onto my cornflakes.
The low FODMAP diet that I've been on now for going on 2 years, it's becoming a huge trend.
You were so ahead of your time.
It's really becoming a huge thing that there are all these now blogs and chefs that are cooking low FODMAP. You can now go into a restaurant and ask for a meal that is a FODMAP meal, and they know to not put garlic, and they know what to put, what not to put. Like, it's becoming a big enough thing that not only is it on products in grocery stores, there's tons of people on TikTok that are posting recipes and what they eat, and there's chefs that are dedicating, there's dietitians now that are just, it's really a huge trend because there's so many of us now that have stomach issues. And this has been the solution, whether you have any kind of stomach issue that you have, whether you have Crohn's disease or IBS or celiacs or just like you get bloat. This diet is the thing that stops all that from happening, and everybody's on it now.
Pretty soon you're going to have your own section in the menu that you can just look right down at that section. You don't have to be a huge pain in the ass. You can just say, I want the number 17.
You're right. Exactly. Just the way that they now have vegan options on a lot of menus or vegetarian options and a lot. I mean, when I was a little girl, I was a vegetarian, and, you know, in New York, you would think they'd be kind of woke about that. They weren't. So if you went to a restaurant with your parents and you were like, I'm a vegetarian, they'd be like, well, we can give you some pasta and broccoli. So that was the only vegetarian option, was pasta and broccoli everywhere. But now, you know, they make special dishes that are just vegan, just vegetarian. The next one that you will see, like you said, on a menu will be the low FODMAP.
Can you imagine you can actually go out to dinner with somebody and them not roll their eyes once when you order?
I look forward to that day.
Yeah.
I look forward to that day.
Because the minute they say, what can I get for you? I just sit back and go, oh, here it comes.
Here we go.
It started with the what do you want to have to drink? Oh, what does she want? She wants special water from Sweden with a oh God, here we go. It can't be easy. Nothing is easy. Where's the water from? How did it get here? How fresh is the water? Oh dear God.
Can you do half water, half cranberry juice? Just squeeze a little lemon in, but I don't want the rind because someone probably touched it.
Right, and I only want just the half of the lemon squeezed. I don't want the whole lemon because oh God.
Because I have acid reflux, so I can't have all that acid in my drink.
But I really want that. But can you, I know what, bring me the lemon first so I can see it, and then you can squeeze it into my drink. Yeah, so everybody that goes to dinner.
I know, one time I went to dinner. Yeah.
Rolls are off.
And my friends are already on to me. One time I went to dinner with a couple of friends of mine, and the waiter was going around the table, and they got to me, and my friend went, excuse me, and got up and said to the waiter, you might want to sit down, and let the waiter sit in his seat. He's like, okay, Cooper, go ahead.
Yeah, usually the guy will let the woman order first, but I always order first so I could get up and go to the bathroom, which he orders because I don't even want to hear it. I can't. It's too much. Can you imagine if you were going on a date with somebody for the first time, and it was just you two at a diner, and then you have to order? I mean, even your water order would make the guy want to run out of the restaurant.
See, what is this?
Sounds like something I heard before.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I got called in to do CNN today.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. I think this might be my last time.
Uh-oh.
It was a disaster. It was a disaster. It was awful. I don't even know where to begin. All right, let me just paint the picture for you. Painting the picture. So now usually I go into that like random studio somewhere.
Some warehouse in
back
a bad
alley,
part of town.
Yeah, where I'm not even quite sure it really is CNN, but I go anyway. So this time they have me in the big studio. I'm in the big studio this time. I'm a big girl. So here's the thing. So first I walk in, they put you, the way they do it is there's a makeup room, and then there's like a guest green room, a place where you can just sort of sit around and, I don't know, drink Perrier and watch the news and, wait for your turn to be brought into the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get mad if you say, "Hey, can you turn it to Fox News, please?"
I think it's one of those closed circuit TVs. I think you only get CNN.
Yeah. All right.
So it's like watch this or sit and talk to yourself. So all right, I don't even know where to begin. There's so much going on. Okay, so Anderson Cooper was there, and he's never there. He's always like out on the street doing his thing.
He's out.
He's usually off in some war zone somewhere.
Some war zone somewhere. Doing Anderson Cooper 360. He's off somewhere, creating and being, that guy. Well, he was in, and he was wearing this little black T-shirt with Levi's, and he's so cute. So, but what was so funny is the makeup ladies are crazy for him.
Really?
So he walks by, and they're like, "Oh, Anderson, is it here? Did you see Anderson? Oh, he's here. Oh, yeah, Anderson. Oh, he's such a sweetie. Oh, that Anderson." And they're going on and on like these old Jewish ladies sitting around in Brooklyn waiting for donuts. It was so funny. They're all like, "Oh, to see Anderson. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's adorable."
He's like butter.
He's like butter. And they're going on and on about it. And they're hilarious. Absolutely funny as anything. So I'm sitting in my little green room, and Anderson Cooper comes in to use my bathroom.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
And he came in. He said, "Hi, anyone in there?" I said, "No." And he went in, and I heard him wash his hands. And I thought, good boy, washing your hands. Because he didn't know who I was. He didn't know I was going to get on the radio and say whether he washed his hands or not.
That's why it's always good to have hygiene, because you never know who might be watching.
Always good. So, so Anderson Cooper was very, very nice.
Did you say, we have something in common? We're both named Cooper.
Hey!
I wanted to say we should get married. Then it could just be Cooper. Or Cooper. I'll put a little 2 on top of my name.
Cooper squared.
Cooper squared. No, I was, that was the beginning of it for me, where I realized I was in a whole other realm. I was somewhere I didn't belong.
Mm-hmm. You were in the big time now.
I was in the big time. Every other time, I'm in some little, crummy studio.
Yeah, it could be CNN. It could be
anywhere.
Could be public access.
Exactly.
Could be probably is. They pipe it in. Who knows? Some guy. I don't even know him.
But this time you knew it was CNN.
Yeah, I knew it was CNN, and there was
you
Anderson Cooper.
You walk in the front door, you hear,
you start feeling
CNN.
You start feeling the pressure, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And it got worse.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so first there's Anderson Cooper in my bathroom. After he leaves, he looks at me to say something, and I'm just like, So I don't even know. I couldn't even speak at that point. So he was like, "Nice meeting you," and walks out. And I was like, oh, he was so nice, and I didn't say anything. What an idiot. And then I turn around, and next walks in Aaron Neville.
Aaron Neville.
He still got that thing on his face?
Anthony.
He's like 6. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. Plus, he's been working out, so he's big and he's big. He's got the muscles now too, and he's tattooed everywhere. He's this big tattoo across his face and stuff. He's
he does not.
He does too. Mm-hmm.
Did it cover up the thing on his face?
No, it's on the other side of his face.
Oh, okay.
Is his speaking voice as high as his singing voice?
No. He's a cool cat.
So he's talking like this, I don't know much.
No, not at all. No. He is one cool cat.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, he walked in. I was like, oh my God, Aaron Neville. So he walks over, introduces himself as if I didn't know who he was, and I said who I was, and shook his hand, and I didn't want to ask him so what are you doing here? Are you here talking about Britney Spears too? Because I know he's not. I figure he's there promoting something, and they bring him into the studio, and I'm watching the closed circuit, and he comes in because Ed Bradley died,
Right.
and they were very close.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't know. He and Ed Bradley, they played music together. Ed Bradley got that earring because of Aaron Neville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was talking about that. And I couldn't really hear because it was closed circuit and there was a lot of noise going around, but I thought he said something about him being his godfather or goduncle, or there's some random relation, or he was like an uncle. They were very close, apparently. Mm-hmm. So he comes back in. I said, "I'm sorry to hear about your friend." And he said, "Yeah, I just spoke to him 2 days ago." And, he said, "I'll tell you, none of us even knew he was sick." So he was talking about that, and I met his manager, and they were just lovely, absolutely sweet, lovely. But there I was in a room with Aaron Neville.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Did you have the foresight to try to book either Anderson Cooper or Aaron Neville on our show?
I could barely form a sentence. They were like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm." And I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a kid.
Yeah,
I really was out of my element there. So the story they're doing about Britney Spears, it's Britney and Whitney. But they're doing Britney Spears. They're talking about divorce. So, of course, they have to bring in divorce attorneys. And who walks in but Raoul Felder?
Another big name.
Another huge name.
Yeah.
Huge celebrity divorce attorney. And I used to produce a radio show that Jackie Mason used to come fill in on. Apparently, they're very good friends. Apparently, Jackie's had several divorces, and Raul is his boy.
Right.
So he walked in. He said, "Why do you look familiar?" And I was like, "I can't believe Raul Felder like recognized me." I said, "Because I used to produce, this show at this radio station when Jackie Mason used to come in, and he would bring you. Oh, that's I remember you." And I was so impressed that he remembered me.
That's pretty good.
I was really. Well, he came in a bunch of times. It wasn't just like once quickly. I mean, he was in there a lot. So he was really sweet. But then I was like, okay, I'm in a room with Raul Felder and Aaron Neville and Anderson Cooper may come back and use the bathroom again. So I'm really not. I'm really not keeping it together, and I'm not focusing on what I'm going to be talking about. And in walks Dr. Judy. And Dr. Judy is there.
Dr. Judy or Judge Judy?
No, Dr. Judy.
I don't know who that is.
Kurlansky, whatever. Dr. Judy. She's got her own radio show.
Oh.
She's everywhere. She's been around forever. Dr. Judy she's really cool. She's 5,000 books out. Women know who she is, but she's
not Judge Judy.
Not Judge Judy.
Not Judge Judy.
Outrageous.
And not Dr. Laura.
Not Dr. Laura. No, if it was Dr. Laura, I would have spit on her.
Oh.
No, it was Dr. Judy, who I respect like crazy. I mean, she Love Phones. Is that the one?
No, I have no idea.
No.
the one that Adam Carolla didn't do. There was Love Phones and Love Lines.
Love Lines.
Maybe Love Lines. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm starting out in radio and I'm doing overnights. And then after I'm off the air overnight, I sit there and I run the board for Love Lines. So I know who she is. I mean, I've been in radio forever. She's what I want to be one day. She's probably I'm guessing she's in her late 50s, maybe early 60s. She looks fantastic. And and I'm just like, I can't even speak. Yeah, absolutely. And she goes, "And what are you doing here, sweetie?" I'm like, "I'm a psychologist too." "Oh, are you going to be talking about the same story?" And I was like, "I think so." I didn't even realize they brought us both in. So I'm on the couch. It's me and Dr. Judy being interviewed by AJ friggin' Hammer.
Any relation to MC?
No, AJ Hammer. He's, do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's one of those three zany hosts of Showbiz Tonight.
But, he used to be on VH1 forever. He's been doing the hosting thing for a really...
The brown-haired guy?
Yeah, brown-haired guy, handsome, really handsome. He's been doing the entertainment hosting thing for a really, really long time.
Him or Anderson Cooper, which one is better looking?
Anderson Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's a dreamboat. Plus, he was dressed really cool in those little Levi's. Oh, my God, I wanted to bite him on the ass. He was so cute. So I'm really out of my element here. And, I didn't know they were going to call me in because I figured when this stuff first happens, they call me. If they don't, it's over. They found somebody else. So I'm having a little issue with one of my editors. So I was up last night till about 6 o'clock in the morning writing. And I planned on napping today and then coming to the show. I didn't plan on having the day I had today, which was hurry up and wait, get over to CNN, that whole thing. I had a million other things going on too, but that was basically hair and makeup, the whole thing. I mean, I looked great. I said the stupidest things in the world. AJ Hammer asked me a question. I don't know what he said to me. I gave an answer, and he looked at me like, you are speaking. I mean, it was almost like he said to me, so, Brittany and Kevin, how do you think that relationship is going to end up in the end? And I went, yeah, I think she's very pretty. I mean, it was that kind of thing where it was like...
Just complete...
I didn't even know, they prepared me to answer certain things, and he asked me a question instead of listening to his question. Plus, I thought he was going to Dr. Judy first, so I didn't really pay attention to the question.
Oh, no.
So I don't know exactly what he asked me. I just thought, well, here's what they prepared for me to say, so why don't I just say that?
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to find out tonight.
No, you'll find out tonight. It's on 11 p.m. tonight,
and then
Showbiz
you'll hear
Tonight.
It tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be in the open tomorrow.
I hope not. I'm telling you, it was a disaster. It was a disaster.
That much better radio tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
She wiped the floor with me, too. He asked a question, and I would give a quick answer. She'd jump right in, and she had and I had all this stuff prepared to say, and she said everything I was going to say. So when she said it, I had nothing else left to say. So he came to me, and he was like, well, what else? I said, well,
pretty.
I said, well, they are both, they're both mothers. They both have kids. Like I was.
They're both mothers.
Brittany and Whitney.
Oh, okay.
They're both mothers. I was so out of my element, so intimidated by the whole sweep of it all. But first Anderson Cooper, Aaron Neville, Raul Felder. I was there with Dr. Judy, and I mean the whole sweep of it. I felt like I am so out of my element here. I do not belong here. And I acted like I didn't belong there.
One of these things is not like the other.
So, I mean, really, it really was that kind of thing. I was the only person in there who everyone was like, and who are you? And Dr. Judy, she wasn't rude or anything. She was just sort of like, let me show you how it's done, Junior. You know, and she wiped the floor with me.
Did you say anything?
But you looked better.
Well, I looked better because I'm 25 years younger than she is, but that's about it.
Is the whole shot going to be like him talking to somebody, then going to her, and you're going to end up on the floor?
I'm hoping.
Okay, they just cut you out.
Edited out completely.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, she and I were both on the same couch. We were sitting next to each other. He was sitting. It was a chair and a couch, and he sat in the chair, and we sat on the couch together.
Right now, there's an editor guy going, "How do I cut this out?"
Right. Oh, wait a minute! I didn't tell you the worst part.
Oh no!
Oh my God! This isn't even the worst part. So this is so funny. So because all this, I guess, was really intimidating me, all of a sudden I become like an underarm deodorant commercial, where it's like, gee, I hope my deodorant's gonna stay up and catch up to all this. But let me tell you something, it didn't. Anderson Cooper came in, I started sweating. Aaron Neville came in, I started sweating. The place was a little warm. Maybe it wasn't. It felt warm. I didn't know. Next thing I knew, I had these big, huge sweat stains.
Oh, no, you don't.
Under my shirt. And they told me not to wear
What are you, a guy?
They told me not to wear a jacket because I wear a jacket every time I'm on there. And
So
they're
you had
like,
big, nasty pit stains?
like you would not believe.
Can you see it on TV?
Yes.
Oh.
As a matter of fact.
This is brilliant.
Huge pit stains. Huge.
You're
As a
never
matter-
going on CNN ever
I'm
again.
never going back on that show again. So here's the worst part about the pit stain. So I'm thinking to myself, I go to the bathroom, I'm like trying to arrange my arms in a way that if I could sit like this, people won't see them. If I keep my arms down in this weird position, maybe. And I walked in, I sat down. I guess I was fixing my my mic, and the sound lady comes over. She goes, she whispers, "Excuse me, Cooper, don't pick up your arms. You have huge sweat stains." Oh, God. I was like, yeah, no. She goes, yeah, so be conscious of that, okay? Because we can really see them. I was like, oh, my God.
They said that to you.
Yeah, they said it to me. Wow. The sound lady.
Oh.
I can just all over, whoever's listening right now, they're all setting their TiVos for 11 o'clock. CNN headline news is the channel it's
I'm
on.
looking forward to this more than Christmas right now. I'm so not missing this.
I'm begging you not to watch it.
Yeah, and don't make the mistake of TiVoing because it's on CNN headline news at 11.
Right.
Not CNN.
Right. Showbiz Tonight.
Right.
It's not regular CNN.
It's going to be on CooperLawrenceShow.com tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm going to beg Jonathan to put this up on the website really, really fast.
Yes, and we'll see if we can do a screen capture of her where we can see a giant pit stain and blow it up.
Yeah.
You don't have to blow it up. You don't have to blow it up. You'll see them.
It's going to be on that TV out there tomorrow. Just the pit stain.
The giant 60-inch screens that are all over the building.
The Jumbotron that we have now? Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Neil and see if we can get it on the van, too, while we're at it.
I think it's over because even the producer walked over, and usually she's like, great job. She walked over to Judy. She goes, great job, Judy. She goes, Cooper, thanks for coming. I was like, as if the rest of that sentence is,
but
and
never
we'll never
come
see
back.
you again. Yeah, never come back.
So you better start making calls to MSNBC and Fox News, see if they need somebody.
And don't use tonight's tape.
No, I can't use
one of your
tonight's tape.
earlier
Not with those pit stains.
Wow.
I mean, you're on the Today Show. You did fine. That's the Today Show.
But Anderson Cooper doesn't work for NBC.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the Today Show, the Scrubs came and interviewed me. It wasn't like it was Al Roker. If it was Al Roker or Katie or Matt, forget it. I would have been a babbling fool.
And you were outside with the weatherman or something, weren't you?
Right. I was outside with Campbell Brown.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
9 feet tall. I mean, if she was there, I didn't see her. She was so tall. I looked into her belly button the whole time. So how intimidating can that be? I talked to a sweater.
Yeah.
That was a little easier. Plus, I was prepared.
You know
this
what, though?
Was different.
This is karma from your Today Show appearance.
Yes,
if you'll remember on her Today Show appearance, there was another guest, and Cooper demolished her. Made her look like a moron.
And the lady fell on her face.
Right. She tripped over wires and fell flat on her face in front of the whole Today Show audience.
So this is your payback from Dr. Judy.
This is my payback.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and Dr. Judy, she was, you should see, even Dr. Judy, who was wiping the floor with me, you could see she felt terrible because at one point I said one little thing and she was like trying to refer to me as if like, oh, poor thing.
Yeah. Like Cooper said.
Exactly.
It's Thursday. And then.
She's right, it is Thursday.
Yes.
I mean, it really was that kind of, it was awful. And AJ Hammer, the look on his face, he was looking at me like, are you on anything? Did you not take your meds today? So being exhausted, being exhausted and being intimidated don't mix for me.
These are the days I'm so glad I have a DVD burner.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm so burning a DVD and bringing this into work tomorrow.
It was a disaster like no other.
We'll
and I
run
need
the
to-
whole. We'll run. Do those things have volume?
Yes.
We can just run it on a loop.
Yes, all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that my sweat doesn't have volume.
Oh, and those are in HD TV too.
Oh,
yeah.
See what pit stains look like in HD.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping the makeup counteracts it. Hoping you look at it and go, pit stains, bad.
No,
Her
everybody
eyes
that's
look
going to watch
terrific."
it tonight is going to be fixated on your arms.
Oh my, how could you won't be able to miss it. I'm warning you ahead of time because if you go watch the show, you won't be able to hear a word anyone says. You're going to be like, pit stains. Pit stains. Pit stains.
This is great.
You should make it into a drinking game. If you watch Headline News, if you watch Showbiz Tonight on Headline News Tonight, you see every time I raise an arm, you see a pit stain, take a shot.
Oh, Chad, call Neil and see if we can stay on the air till 11:30 tonight, just so we can watch it on the
And
TVs.
humiliate me.
Yes, live on the
in
air.
real time.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and I was nice to come in and talk to you about this and tell you about. I never even got to the topic we actually discussed.
Oh, this
on the
was
show.
far better than any
Far
topic
better, right?
you could have come
Yeah.
up with.